Hey everybody, it's Andrew here at Vespa Portland, and in this video we're going to be talking about how to install a battery tender on a Vespa scooter and a Piaggio scooter. At the time of filming this video, a battery tender can be yours for $49.95. So about $50 worth of insurance policy to keep a battery, which is oftentimes quite a bit more expensive, happy and healthy. Now, how does a battery tender work? It emulates normal operation of a scooter as if you were consistently riding it instead of letting it sit for months and months on end in the winter or colder months or snow or whatever you have to deal with in your area. You'll plug in one end of the battery tender into the wall, you'll plug the other end into your scooter, and it will put a load on the battery as if you started it up and took a little charge out of the battery, and then it'll trickle charge that back as if you were riding the bike. It's something you can set and forget. By the time that season is over, your bike will be in good shape, ready to go. Now let's get into this box and get everything out of it that we need to do this install. So in the box here, we've got this battery tender charger and maintainer. This is gonna plug into the wall, and then it's attached to this long cord. I think it's about 6 feet long, and it has this connector on the end, which looks like this. Also in the box is this little set of alligator clips. Red for positive, black for negative. There's a little fuse in this line as well. And then on the other end here is the other side of the connector. They used to ship with 2 different cables, one of which was kind of dedicated to the alligator clip system, and the other was a pigtail like this that doesn't have those clips on it, just has the negative end and the positive end. They just kind of simplified this. So if you want to do an alligator clip kind of installation, which is kind of the more temporary version, you can just kind of run it as is. If you want to do the more permanent pigtail lead installation, as we're going to also show in this video, then all you'll really need to do is get an Allen wrench and kind of back these little fasteners out right here, and then this cable will separate, and you'll be able to use this cable for that purpose. Tools you're going to need for this repair are 2 zip ties. You may really only need 1, but we're going to have 2 just for the heck of it. You might encounter a little more slack on the scooter you're installing this on, and it's nice to be able to tie that up. Next up, you're going to need a T25 and T30 Torex, whatever you want to call it, driver. This is the one that comes with your scooter. It's going to be in a little black bag, either underneath the seat, attached to the seat, in the bucket, or potentially in the glove box of the scooter. And also a Phillips head screwdriver. You're also going to want something to cut the zip tie down once it is on. Optional tools, a pair of forceps or like barbecue tongs if you wanted to pull the connector of the pigtail lead through the frame. You'll see what we mean later. Another option is an 8mm wrench, which you could use to get the fasteners out of the battery terminals if you find that they're too tight to get out with the standard Phillips head without potentially stripping them out. They do have a socket head, and you can use an 8mm wrench to get those off. Okay, so to get started here, we're going to use the T25 Torex driver on the 4 fasteners that are here on the battery cover, and they're super easy. Just zip them right out. When you go ahead to lift these off, just be real careful that you don't drop the screws. If your plan is to do the more temporary installation, you can just use these alligator clips like so, red on the positive, black on the negative. Now the thing about this is these battery compartments are a little bit small, so you may still have to remove the battery strap to get a good grip with these, and then plug the other side into the wall, and you're good to go as long as you see the light on the charger that everything is moving along. This version though is a little bit more of a pain if you want to go take your bike out on a nice sunny day in the winter time. You're gonna have to take these off, put the battery cover back on, tighten it all up, and then when you're done with your ride, come back, battery cover off, etc. It's a little bit easier to kind of give into your desire to go ride on a nicer winter day if you've done the more permanent style pigtail installation. This is kind of better if you know for a fact that you're not going to ride this bike for a few months at a time. So with that, we'll get started on actually doing the pigtail installation on this scooter. The battery in the compartment here is held in by a battery strap. Switch out to the T30. Pop that right out. Switch it around to the larger side, pop it right back in. With the T30, what we're just going to do here is get into this first fastener and loosen it right up. Get your finger on there so when it comes out, you can kind of get a grip on it so it doesn't fall into the frame. You don't want any of these falling in. That is a nightmare. And on the back one, it's a little harder to get to, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and pop this in. Again, crack it, make it easy to get out of there. And as it gets loose, I'm actually going to hold onto the battery strap and kind of push up with a little pressure so that I'm kind of sandwiching the fastener between the driver and the battery strap. This is going to make sure that I don't accidentally drop this anywhere it shouldn't be. And you can see that kind of how it looks. As you can see here, the battery strap only goes one way. On this bike right here, you've got a short in the front, long in the back. Go ahead and note what side is which on your own bike when you take yours off. Now the strap is out of here, the battery is a little more free to move around. You always want to have a battery strap when you're riding. That way the vibrations don't end up loosening the nuts on here, which would create a bad connection and make it harder to start your bike. So what we want to do here is take that Phillips head screwdriver and go ahead and get this screw out. If this is super tight, you can use an 8mm wrench or socket to get this thing moving. Try not to strip out the soft metal. We're starting with the negative side first. Just gotta wait till it loosens up. The pigtail lead, we're gonna use the black end. You can see there's a red end there as well. The black end, we're actually just gonna take this fastener out and we're gonna put this on top of it and put the screw back in. You want your pigtail lead on top of the cable here. Kind of pinch it all together so we're not gonna lose the fastener here in the frame. Find the hole in the terminal and kind of get it going. Definitely get it snug, but don't, crank the hell out of it. Like I said, you could potentially strip it out. And then we also, of course, want to make a little room here for the battery strap to come back in. So you may need to finesse this stuff a little bit. Same thing on the positive side. We're going to go ahead and get this off. Pop that out. Same deal on the other side. I'm going to use this positive and get this going in again. Okay, here we are back on the other side of the bike. We got good connections on the negative and the positive. The fasteners are snug, and now it's time to get this snaked through the bike and underneath it. Toward the back of the battery compartment, we're literally just gonna push back through the hole there. I've got this wire all the way pressed through the back cavity of the battery compartment, and it's gonna come out kind of up under here. A little hard to see with the subframe. You're gonna probably have to get down here on the floor, or if you're lucky enough to have a lift, get it up high, and then just kind of dig the fingers around until you locate wherever that wire came out. And we got a pretty straight shot with a little bit of slack up to the battery compartment. You can put this on either side of the bike. We generally put it on the left side just so that it's completely away from the hot exhaust header, so you don't accidentally burn yourself after a ride when you plug it in, and so that you don't accidentally have contact with the plastic, which could melt the whole thing and be catastrophic. So this is where your zip ties will come in. What we're gonna do, since this line is short enough, is we're probably just gonna use a single zip tie. We're gonna go through this loop on the connector right here, and we're just gonna zip tie it to the brake line. It's a perfectly fine place to put it if you're doing it on the left side. You're not gonna be yanking on this a ton. The brake line is pretty strong. So to get that going, you can go ahead and take your zip tie, go through this connection right here, and just kind of go around the brake line. And you can just start with it loose, just kind of get it started, kind of get to a spot you like, and then tighten down from there. At that point, you want to kind of see what's my slack situation look like. With this, once you start hitting some bumps and this entire swing arm starts moving, you obviously don't want to have a situation where you're pulling this thing too much. But in the current configuration with the bike up on the stand, the swing arm is as low as it will ever get. So you'll only get more slack as you put weight on the bike or you hit bumps. If you really want to, secure it, if you don't want slack at all, you could do another loose zip tie up here on the subframe. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and clean up the zip tie with these snips. Here's the connector. It's attached to the brake line. It's tight up out of the way. It's not gonna get burned up on the oil pan or anything like that. And from far away, it really just kind of disappears into the bike. Do you see it? If you're looking for it, you can. All right, we're back in the battery compartment here, ready to wrap this all up. As you can see, we've got no kinks in the lines. We got the fuse block kind of hanging out back here. We're gonna start by switching out from that Phillips head we were using. Get rid of that and go back to that larger T30. I'm gonna go ahead and grab the battery strap. Again, it's the back side, which is the tall side. I'm gonna go ahead and pinch the fastener in between it and guide it toward the hole in the battery compartment here and make sure that all these wires are out of the way. We don't wanna take it all the way down just because it makes it a little harder to do the front. Grab your next fastener. And that battery strap is now tight, and this battery, it ain't going nowhere. Now we got to switch out to the T25, switch it around again. We're gonna go ahead and put these back on. Oh no. All right, I made a mistake here. I lost one of these in the frame. That's how quick it can happen. You don't even notice it. Lucky for me, I have this nice little magnet, so I'm gonna go fishing. There it is. Pop that in there, and then you can go ahead and get the fastener in The little metal square washers are going to kind of move around a little bit. They don't exactly fit perfectly over the holes when they're just resting. So you kind of have to get the screw in there and move them around a little bit until you find it. And once they're all in, just tighten them down. Just go ahead and get them snug. They don't have to be incredibly tight. So that's the tidiest install you can do. Another option, although not as aesthetically pleasing, but quite a bit easier to get to, is actually to have the pigtail come out of the battery compartment and kind of stick straight up right here. I always call that kind of the Scooter Bob special, because that's what Bob always had us do with his bikes. The only thing left to do, plug in the charger side to the wall and then kneel down and go ahead and get that connected to the pigtail that is underneath the bike. On the charger, you're going to see a light come on indicating that everything is working properly. It's putting a load on the bike and then trickle charging it back up. We're going to talk about the Piaggio installation here in just a second, but if you're watching this video, chances are you've got a dead battery. There's a few different scenarios in which you would want to use a battery tender. The first one would be that you just recognize the need for a battery tender because you know you're not going to ride, and you go ahead and install it before there's ever a problem. And if that's you, congratulations. You're living a proactive lifestyle, at least with this particular application. If your battery is dead, it was sitting all winter, you come back to it in spring, you turn your key on, and you get lights, but you aren't able to actually start the bike. It won't crank over. It kind of makes it sound like it's trying, but it isn't getting there. If that's the case, you could put the bike on the tender overnight and kind of see what happens. Whether or not your battery is totally dead is going to be hard to tell. You know, there's a lot of variables involved in that. Is your bike stored in a garage? Is it outside in the open air? Is it very cold where you live? How long has the bike been sitting? How long has it been sitting since the last time you rode it? You know, if you don't ride, 2-3 months at a time in between rides and then you let it sit a whole winter, you're really not treating your battery well. Disuse is abuse with scooter batteries. They're only about a quarter to maybe a half the size of a car battery. The cells are smaller, there's less lead acid, and we even have a handy little chart to put up that'll show you the percent of charge as it relates to each volt that you lose over time in the battery. And you can see pretty quickly that it discharges down to about 50% around 12 volts. And if you were to check your battery with a tester or a multimeter, chances are, if it's in the single digits, it's not coming back. All of that is to say that whether or not your battery is dead after a winter of sitting, or if it's clinging to life and might be able to be brought back by a tender, is completely variable. Your best bet is to get one of these installed as your insurance policy and then just kind of go from there. It'll prolong the life of a good battery like a Yuasa battery up to like probably 5 years if it is in a garage and treated well. On the Piaggio Liberty, and pretty much any Piaggio bike, the LT, the Beverly, the BV, the MP3, the battery on those is not under the floorboard like it is on the Vespa. It is under the seat, and it's held on with these two little fasteners to get this cover off. They are, again, T25s. You can just use this real quickly, and then the battery cover will come right off, and you have the same access to the negative and the positive. Same installation situation with the pigtail. On these, however, you'd probably want to wrap all that extra slack of wire back around here, and then you would probably want to have your pigtail kind of hanging out like so. You can either put the battery cover kind of back on, this isn't the best example, and then have the pigtail hanging out. And then you could kind of pinch the wire, which isn't ideal, but it won't be the end of the world. A better fix, however, would be to kind of take a Dremel to kind of make a little notch in here, large enough for this cable to fit through without being pinched. And then when this pops on, it has its own little channel, and this will just end up living in the underseat storage bucket right here. And when you want to charge, you're just going to pop your seat open, plug directly into this, and you're good to go. All right, well, that about covers the installation of a battery tender on a Vespa, Primavera, Sprint, GTS, or Liberty, BV, MP3, etc. And that is all from me and Macy, who's terrified to be sitting on this seat, but good girl, you're doing fine. And we will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.